My name's Noel. I'm a psychotherapist. Welcome to today's video on the benefits of exercise for not just your physical health but your emotional and psychological health. I can't overstate how important it is to be physically active in an exercise sense on a regular basis, both as a treatment if you have current issues around depression or anxiety or addiction, etc., or PTSD, some very serious sort of mental health problems, and severe and enduring mental health problems such as psychosis, schizophrenia, etc. So as a treatment, part of your treatment regime for those types of mental health problems, it's absolutely crucial and should be seen as central, but also as a preventative sort of methodology or prophylactic, something that will help prevent you acquiring sort of mental health issues such as depression and anxiety. I really can't overstate how important exercise is as a way of managing sort of mental health issues and preventing them from occurring in the first place. Studies have shown, for example, that if you're involved in regular exercise, and I'll define what that means in a minute, you reduce your chances of getting depression and anxiety by almost 30%, which is really quite extraordinary, given that 3 out of 5 people may well experience depression or anxiety throughout their lifetime. So it's a really, really important thing. It's a core component of recovery as well. Sort of complex whole person exercise is used in sort of many treatment regimes. One is the Cabin in Chiang Mai. Go and check them out, the website. They use Muay Thai, which is a form of martial arts, in their recovery program, and it's central to their recovery program quite seriously and importantly so. There's another video I did with the CEO of the Cabin, so go and check that out. What's going on when you exercise? Let's go back a little bit. Let's first define what sort of regular exercise looks like. It's about 30 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes a day. If you can manage it 3 or 4 times a week, is also just as good of sort of exercise that raises your heart rate. Not to the point where you can't breathe, but significantly so, where you have a sort of sheen on your body of sweat, so that you know things are working. You don't have to do that all in one go. You can accumulate that 20 to 30 minutes throughout the whole day. So and by doing very, very sort of easygoing things, in the sense easy to drop into your life things, such as walking up and down the stairs at work. That's how you can do it. You don't have to rush out to the gym every day and sort of get on the treadmill and pound the treadmill for half an hour. So walking up the stairs rather than getting the lift is a great idea. Walking part of your journey to work rather than using public transport or driving all the way, for example. Getting on a bicycle and using that to go to the shops, etc., etc. Those types of things you can just drop into your life, and that will have a massive impact. Exercise is what's known as a sort of a global health benefit. So not only will it help regulate your body weight and get you fitter so that you can do more activities in your life and have more energy for your relationships, but it will improve your sort of mental and emotional health. It is a mood enhancer, exercise, very much so. And some of the things that are happening, I'm going to sort of read a little bit from the script, if you like. Go and check out the website. It goes into much more detail, but I want to just talk about a few things about what's happening. So it's producing serotonin. I'll tell you what that is in a minute. It's improving your cognitive functioning, your memory functioning. It's helping to produce calmness and relaxation within the body. So reducing stress hormones. It will increase the proteins that are involved in the production of oxytocin. I'll tell you what that is in a moment. It will produce what's called neuroendorphins. It will regulate the release of melatonin and cortisol, and those are really seriously implicated in stress and also effective sleep. So endorphins and neuropeptides, reduce the perception of pain in the brain, which is quite amazing. So you have a sort of much more calm, even high feel from it. Okay, so what are all these chemicals? Serotonin, you may have come across the term, but serotonin is implicated in depression and anxiety. So having a natural way of regulating that is absolutely crucial. Many people have what's called SSRIs, a sort of medical form of treatment. And SSRIs are about serotonin, about how your body regulates serotonin. Well, using exercise, you can do the same sort of thing. Some people may still need the medication, and I certainly wouldn't suggest you stop without medical advice, but if you add in sort of regular exercise, that will certainly help any sort of regime, any program that you're on for rehabilitation from depression and anxiety. Oxytocin, what's that? We call that the love hormone. It's a chemical bonding process between people. It makes people love each other, literally. Producing that in you produces a really strong sense of well-being, happiness, and even love. So this is one of the things that you can get from doing regular exercise. And remember, regular exercise isn't pounding out in the gym. You can do that if you want. It's walking up and down the stairs at work. Okay, do you get it? It's really, really straightforward and really simple stuff that you can drop into your life and start to get a really fantastic feel. Sort of one of the points I want to make is about we tend to split off the mind and the body in our culture. I don't want to get too philosophical about this, but we see our emotions as somehow separate to a physical reality, but they're not. Our emotions are neurochemical on a base level. They're really important things to us, our emotions. And if we can sort of manage them more effectively and reduce our stress levels and enhance our sense of well-being and love and connectedness, just from doing something simple like walking to the shops on a regular basis rather than getting the car. I mean, what's not to do here? What's not to like about this? Here's a few suggestions for how you might get started. So as with all habits, start small, start practical. Once you've mastered a small practical habit, like I'm going to walk to the shop every time I need to go to the shop rather than use my car. Once you've mastered that, then you can add things onto it. So when I started my own exercise regime, it started with walking, and I set myself a task around that. Another way you could think of it, you can get these things called pedometers, which count the number of steps. So you can set yourself a target in terms of steps. You can put them on most smartphones these days, or you can get them separate in a Fitbit or a separate counter. You start with that, and then you look at how you can build upon it. And once you've got these positive habits going, you build upon them. Find times in your day, structure your day, have a look at your diary for the next week and have a look at where you could drop in 10 minutes of some physical activity into your life. And it can also be things like standing up on a regular basis and walking around the office. So have a look at how you might be able to do that. Say when you're going for your lunch break, have a think about a shop where you can buy your food, if you buy your food while you're at work. Have a think about where the shop is that will give you a good walk, for example, a very practical thing. And then you'll build up an appetite as well for your food. And your body will be working well, and it will process the food and digest it much more effectively. Recruit somebody to work with you as a workout buddy. That's a really good motivation. We tend to work well because we're social animals. If we get other people involved in keeping us accountable for sort of key goals and tasks, then we tend to achieve them much more. It's not a competitive thing. It's just about sort of wanting to feel connected to somebody else. So if we have somebody else doing the activity with us, we feel a lot better about it. We're more likely to be motivated to do it. Keep a track of your goals. So keep a monitor, record what you're doing, have a look at it, and keep a track of whether you've achieved your goals and just tick them off. And that way you're reminding yourself, you're being accountable to yourself. There's a lot more suggestions on the website, so go and check out. Those are just a few. So I'm going to sort of wrap up there because the video is going to get too long otherwise. There's massive more information on my website. Go and check it out. www.noelmcdermott.net and have a look at the sort of positive benefits and practical tips for starting and maintaining an exercise regime. I just want to come back to this essential point. It is the most straightforward and simplest way you can treat sort of major mental health issues, improve your mental health and maintain a stable sort of mental health outlook for your future by regular exercise. It is the most straightforward, the most simple, one of the most effective things that you're going to do. I cannot tell you how seriously important it is to get on this and get involved in regular exercise. If you have any issues around this, if you're struggling with mental health issues, struggling to get started on these things and want some help, do drop me a line or give me a call. The number's 07506 319 745, or drop me a line, info@noelmcdermott.net. If you're calling from outside the UK, add a plus and a 44 and drop off the first 0 on the number. But do get in touch if you're struggling with any of these issues and you want some help. I can sort of help set up a program with you and give you a lot more tools in terms of thinking about setting up SMART goals, etc. and things that you can monitor and apps that you can use. There's all sorts of stuff out there now. But once you get going on these things, once you build up the habits, they are self-perpetuating. You'll find that you actually enjoy it. And it doesn't have to be, you don't start really high and set yourself the goal of I'm going to run a marathon tomorrow. That would be insane. Just set yourself some really sort of achievable goals, such as for the next week I'm going to walk to the local shop rather than get the car. Things like that are absolutely crucial in building up a program that will have global impacts upon your physical, emotional and relationship health. So I would encourage you to get on with it. Hope this was useful. Do leave some comments on the website and underneath the video if you're watching this on my YouTube channel. I hope these are useful and your feedback helps make sure that is the case. See you again at the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.